5:34.
What, 5:34? All right, 5:34, September 24th, 2020. Call this meeting to order. Board members present, all. Is that acceptable? Additional members present. Barbara Hawkins with the Chamber of Commerce, Scott Miller with Pryor Main Street, Katie Thibodeau with Chamber as well. Item 2 on this agenda is the review and possible approval of the meeting minutes from our May 21st meeting. Has everyone had a chance to review it? Any questions, comments, concerns? Do I have a motion to approve those minutes?
I make a motion to approve the minutes.
I will second it, and all of those in favor say aye.
Aye.
And there were 2 absences, correct?
Me and Melissa.
Okay. Oh, okay. Well, there you go. Next, item 3. As far as I understand, we are going to review and possibly recommend council action to approve the Hotel Motel grant and final expense report for Pryor Area Chamber of Commerce. They also have a visual presentation. Is that correct? Sort of? Okay, so it's going to tie into the final expense report for their last fiscal year. So is Katie presenting, or are you, Barbara?
Presenting, I'm Ed.
All right.
We thought we would show you some of what we do because some of you are new to the board and may or may not have been aware or seen some of our stuff. One thing I want to say, if you look at the information that we've given you for last year's allocations, is that we did not spend all of the money. We were allocated $33,899, and we spent $29,216. It was when COVID came up, and I'll tell you what that money was going to be for. We decided that we could have run out and spent it on something. That wouldn't have been the best utilization of the funds we're entrusted with. So we decided to come in and ask you if you would recommend, and I don't know, even if you recommend, the council would be able to do it or not. We would like to be able to hold those funds and use it for what they were budgeted for, because those projects are still on hold right now. Otherwise, I know that they may have to go back and be rolled in. And we would prefer to hold on to it, but we will obviously live with it, whatever happens with it. But we just didn't think it would be a good thing to run out and spend it. What it was originally, that almost 5,000 was originally allocated for, was number 1, Rocklahoma. Last year in 2019, I don't know if you guys know, but 70,000 tickets were sold, 2019. 2020 was on target to be the same or more. We also had Born and Raised that was going to be scheduled 2 weeks after Rocklahoma. Born and Raised is a Red Dirt concert, and the ticket sales on that were tracking just about the same as Rocklahoma. It was crazy for a first-year concert to be selling the way this one was. So one of the things that we wanted to do for a long time, and so we budgeted this year because we had this money, was to do some videos, just little 15-second spots that we can put up on the jumbotrons out at Rock and now Born and Raised, to drive people into town, to show our restaurants off, to show Walmart, and also because we used part of the hotel motel money to rent shuttles for those weekends. We use the shuttles to take, we don't, we throw branded as a party. We want people to have a good time, but we want them to be safe, and we want our people to be safe. So we run the shuttles to go from the hotels to and from the concert, but we also use those shuttles to take people from the concert, because there are 7,000 campsites out there now, to take people from the concert into town to do shopping. And the other thing that we were working with Main Street on with Jenny was and I think Donna Moore is still involved with that, is to get people into Vinyl Junkies on Saturday. It's a convention at the galleries in the community center of people who sell old 80s music and vinyl. And so I know a lot about that. So we bring those people in, and the shuttles primarily stop at the hotels, but we also always have a route, and they stop at Walmart so people can go to Walmart to shop. They stop at the liquor stores because that's where people want to go, as well as the downtown area. And we know, I think we all know, that those people probably aren't going to come and shop at our gift shops. That's not what they're here for, but they will buy food for the weekend, and especially the campers, because there's no place to eat really on site until later in the day. So if you've ever been out during Rock and just traveled around town, our restaurants pack out. Our Homeland and Walmart pack out. And if it rains, Orshlands cannot keep enough ponchos and rain boots out there. You know, he a couple of years ago went all over eastern Oklahoma and western Arkansas to all the other Orshlands to get boots and ponchos and tarps and all kinds of things. So that's we wanted to do the video spots. We were going to do them for Rock, and then another set for Born and Raised, and we were doing the Vinyl Junkie videos. And we were also going to do flyers for the Vinyl Junkie show that would be distributed in there are welcome centers and information booths throughout the festival grounds, and so they would be handed out there. And we'd even talked about using some of the volunteers. The chamber puts about 1,000 volunteers together for Rocklahoma. And so we were going to actually use some of the volunteers to go out and distribute in the campsites and things. And the shuttle service, and also we were looking at doing a video spot for Dam Jam this year. All of those projects came to a screeching halt. And so that's what that money had been budgeted for. And so we have now set that aside until we determine with you guys what we can do with it. Some of the things in addition to that we do is we do not as much print advertising as we used to, but we still do some. We work a lot with Green Country. It's a multi-county marketing company, and it's connected with the state. They get matching funds, and so they're able to pass along discounts to us so that we do. And another thing is the Jefferson Highway. We're heavily involved in that. We got it started. We've been working on it for about 4 years. And it's one of those things that just has to kind of gather its own steam, and it is. And it's exciting, and it's going to be financially very, very advantageous in the tourism market in Oklahoma. And the Jefferson Highway is essentially Highway 69. However, when it was built in 1913, which was just after statehood, And so because of that, we didn't have a lot of friends federally, and we didn't even have a good core at state level. So this highway in Oklahoma was primarily built by locals, the ranchers, the bankers, and the business people. Because of that, the bankers put money into it, and they wanted it to go in front of their businesses. So we've done a lot of research. Those of you who know Don Berger, he's a brilliant researcher. And in Pryor, 69 comes into town, and on what's our main street now, Highway 20, turns and goes over to Elliott and down because it followed what they thought would be the commercial development. And it goes down, and it actually goes pretty much through the district and then through Mid-America and on down. And it goes from Canada down to New Orleans. So it's the only transcontinental that we have, and it was the first national highway. It was built before Route 66, and it's very, very historically important. So we've been promoting that quite a bit. This one, by the way, has 250,000 copies. They're distributed through trade shows and through Travel OK. They're on Travel OK, which is a state tourism website. And they send them out, and then all of the 17 counties of northeast Oklahoma that are partners in this, their chambers and their CBBs and everyone distributes them. So it's 250. This one is 125,000 distribution, and we this year had 4 pages. And one of the things, this is a really good little book, and one of the other things that we do is that we contribute to the small businesses downtown. We pay 25% if they want to put advertising in here so that they can afford to get into state publications, because they really couldn't otherwise. And so we use some of the money for that. And then this is a Green Country Attractions map. This year, I think we promoted the Comic-Con conference. We have, for many years, not had a guide. And last year, we resurrected, it's a member guide, but it's also a Mays County, it's a member directory, but also the Mays County Guide. There's a lot going on actually in Mays County that we've been watching and are going to become more involved in. One of the things that we're looking at doing is perhaps doing next year a booklet, probably of this kind of format, only a book, for the Mays County Antique Trail. For years, you know, we said nobody's ever going to get out of bed in Tulsa on a Saturday and say, let me go to Pryor to the antique shop or 2 antique shops. They're all over Mays County now, and some of them are very awesome, and there's a bunch of them that are pretty upscale also. Our Adair Street has, 3? You got Vintique and yours, and right around the corner is Rust and Lace, and then what used to be Rhinestone and Ruffles is now mall, an antique and craft mall. So, and you all know about Shoto. You've seen on Highway 69 all the stores they have. Some people came back who grew up in northeast Oklahoma in Locust Grove, went away, made money, have come back, and they're investing pretty heavily in Locust Grove. They've done some remarkable renovations. They've completely, the strip mall that was downtown, and it was pretty rugged looking. They've completely restored that and put a gazebo out, and there's lights all around it, and it's lovely. They're renovating their bank, one of their banks. There's no longer a bank, and they're turning that they're working with Willard Stone's family, and they're turning that into a Willard Stone museum, which is so exciting because his stuff has not been available for the longest time. So the other thing we did this year is the map. We still kind of use this one because if somebody's coming in and wanting to put a business in town or buy a house, it's easier. But this is more of a tourism map. It's a larger format. And it's big enough we were able to put there's one side is Pryor and the other side is Mays County. And on the Mays County one, we were able to put all the towns and the lakes and Mid-America, Rocklahoma, Salina,
High Banks.
High Banks Speedway, the new BMW or BMX tracks at Mid-America, which is taking off big. So we've got all this great stuff going on with COVID. We have Pryor Chamber Facebook page that we manage, which has over 4,000 followers. We have Visit Pryor. The Pryor Chamber page is more for Pryor people, and it's more business. Visit Pryor is more for tourism, and that one we push out. We go out, our market on that's about 100 miles, sometimes 200 that we go out with. And then we do have Dam Jam page also, which has over 2,000. If the antique, we definitely will be doing a Jefferson Highway, Mays County Jefferson Highway page, and if the antique trail goes well, that would probably be a good one. And one other market that we're looking at is the agritourism. It's becoming really big right now, and I think that we're kind of focusing on that and looking at it.
Awesome, thank you. I think Tracy had a couple of questions.
Nope, she answered it.
Okay, anybody have any questions?
So all of these items that you were speaking of, is the 7-county partnership that you guys do?
What I'm
The
deaf.
map, all of these are all the partnership, the 7 counties to combine together?
This is
or is
this
that
is
all?
ours, and this is ours,
Okay,
and this is ours. We don't produce this one, we do produce these two. These are
you
partners.
produce the
It's,
guy, the
that's,
directory?
that's ours.
Okay, and then the map of the Mid-America?
That's ours.
Okay, but then the green country, these
Those are ones that we advertise in and that we partner
from the
with.
state and partner with the other counties, okay.
Yes, it's basically the same boundaries as the Cherokee Nation. It was defined by the state, but it's the same, except it includes all of Tulsa
Okay.
County. Whereas Cherokee Nation is just the northern
Gotcha.
part of Tulsa.
Okay,
So these are the ones that I brought them mainly to show you just what we're spending some of the advertising dollars for
gotcha.
and what they're going for. You know, it's like I said, this one is 250,000 distribution.
Right,
This is 125. So we buy advertising in them, but we get the advertising at a rate that we couldn't afford if we just went out. It's just like, you know, the only way we can ever put something in the state books is to partner with people because their pages are like $6,000, $7,000, $8,000 each.
sure. Okay. Now, you talked about the shuttle services so do you provided the shuttle services in the past?
Mm-hmm. We've done it since the very beginning.
Okay, so how many shuttles? Do you keep record of the trips? Are you logging where a lot of these people I mean, is it just the hotels, liquor stores, Walmart, Homeland, that's
It's a
nine-
loop. I mean, it's,
Or is it, I mean, are you logging how many trips and how many people are using these
We get a
shuttles?
log, this is something that, we don't run them.
Okay,
When they started, when we first decided to do this back in Country Fever timeframe,
mhm,
we thought about it, and we actually had some school bus drivers or people who had their own school buses. There was a lot of people who wanted to do it. The liability is crazy.
oh, absolutely.
So
So we hire a service to come out and do this? We hire a service?
we hire a service out of Tulsa. It's
How many-
918 shuttle.
How many shuttles do they provide?
They provide, in Pryor, they provide 3.
3?
But they're shuttles, they're not little vans for the most part. And they bring over, it depends on what time of the day. Because well, now part of it, the gates open at 10. So they'll run more shuttles then and then back it off a little bit.
Sure.
So and then the big push is at night to get everybody out of the facility and back to the hotels. The crazy time comes if it storms, but
Right.
it's 918 shuttle. We searched and searched, and I talked to friends who run CBB's, Tulsa Regional, Tourism, and they came really highly respected. We've used them for about 5 years. The first few years, we actually partnered with Pelivan. And so we used the Pelivan shuttles and paid them a donation for them.
Gotcha.
But it got too big.
Sure. So are they keeping a track or a log of the people? You receive that, and are you seeing the numbers? Because that's a good way to see how much it's either growing or shrinking, or, we need more shuttles, or, that.
We don't right now. One of the things we did a couple of years ago was tried to service Claremore and Hard Rock, because they have, at that point, Hard Rock was an actual partner. They were the Tulsa hotel partner.
So people would stay at the Hard Rock and then
Right,
run
they
it
had
Yeah,
packages.
and they had
that
back
actually
and forth? Okay.
upscale
tickets,
tickets that
hotel
they
rooms.
sold, that you
So
had
then-
There are
VIP.
no rooms available until you
In-
get to, we sell out until you get to like Catoosa. There's a, 40-mile radius that.
Yeah,
all of the places sell
a
out.
few years ago, I actually became kind of OCD and sat and did a circle around Pryor, a 45-mile radius, and I called every hotel. Every hotel had guests. Miami has guests, Muskogee has guests.
Are we going that far out to bring
Yeah.
people?
Well,
Yeah,
East Tulsa.
No, I mean,
That's where they're
shuttle.
staying.
Oh, no,
shuttle.
no.
I'm asking
The
if the
shuttles
shuttles
not
are the
going
ones
out.
going out to
For a
those. I mean,
while.
I realize that, it's drawing a lot of people from all over, but we're not receiving money from, hotel, motel credit from
No,
Hard
the-
Rock.
the-
We're not receiving it
No,
from
but we're
Miami's hotel,
receiving-
motel, they are, but we're actually having the event in Pryor.
Yeah.
And so I'm just trying to get a gauge of like,
But the
how
main
much?
reason, we don't run shuttles to Tulsa.
okay,
A couple of years, 3 years ago, we worked with 918 to do Claremore and Hard Rock, and it just didn't work. It's because it takes, you can't judge and gauge how long it's going to take you to get, from Claremore.
well, you don't
Because
just have
their
to have a
hotels are on
90%,
the east
90 to
side.
95% capacity on a shuttle
Yeah.
to justify taking
So
somebody that far away.
now we run just the shuttles inside for the Pryor hotels. And we give a discount to all the guests that stay in the in-town hotels.
So do they get like a bus ticket
Uh-huh.
and they have to pay for
Yeah.
that? And
And it's like, even for the Mid-America hotels that don't pay tax.
Sure.
Theirs is $10 a day, which is a bargain, you know. And
So
they,
it's additional cost. Does that money go to the chamber or does it go to the
it goes to pay,
shuttle
help
service?
pay for the shuttles. We use some hotel money and we use that to subsidize it because we don't have enough hotel motel money and we wouldn't want to, you know. So they take that money and then we give them, I don't know, I should have that number in my head, but I don't, about what we give them. We've given them the same amount every year, and they take really, really good care of our people.
Oh, absolutely.
It would be
And-
nice to have those, for them to provide you those numbers though. The number of trips, the number of trips, the number of people that are utilizing, so you can break down the cost. And so you can know if a service, if you want to expand or what you want to do. So that would be a good thing on the back end whenever, you know, so you have that data, so that you can find out.
Okay, I have a quick button, and I apologize. It is my understanding the chamber does not actually fund anything related to Rocklahoma, like you do volunteers. All the expenses with Rocklahoma, is it not paid for by Rocklahoma? So, I know, I'm sorry, that this is why I'm like, hold on, before we get into, I mean, looking at these things, which is great information, but are you the one footing the bill for the shuttle service?
Are you the one paying for the shuttle service?
Is the Chamber of Commerce actually paying for the shuttle service, or is Rocklahoma paying for it?
No, the chamber pays. We started it a long time ago, and it was, the whole concept was to get people in them to spend their money.
Okay,
You know, and
Okay.
on the shuttles, there's all kinds of information.
there's
handed out.
very little the chamber does pay for regarding Rocklahoma, so
Oh,
I needed for
absolutely.
my own information to grasp this. I
Sure.
apologize for butting in on your
No,
question.
no. I think it was a very valid question. Well, I mean, it was just a part of the,
Pay like
Presentation.
yeah.
But I think it's like $2,000 a day for those shuttles, and they go from 9 o'clock in the morning until 2 o'clock, 3 o'clock, until the last people get taken back to their hotels at night.
Mhm.
And the concerts run, the main stage goes off at 12:30, and then the side stages run until, I think at 2 o'clock they have to shut down, legally.
My second question, are hotel motel allocation funds used for that shuttle service?
Yes.
I don't recall ever seeing that service on a report. Is it on your current one and I missed it?
Yeah, it's not on here.
Is that
Well-
not on here?
Uh-uh.
Then no, we haven't.
I was gonna say, I don't think it's ever been
I
on
don't,
here.
yeah, I don't recall.
So, I mean, it's a service that you provide.
Okay, so, no,
Take that back.
okay, so I didn't need to bring all that up.
Is that your
Yeah.
final answer?
It is, because I've been on this board for a long time, and I know it's never been here.
Yeah, okay.
And part of we also with the, we do everything we can to fill the little hotels in town who all year contribute to this hotel fund.
Okay, but you're giving patrons $10 off in order to stay here during that event? Is that what you're doing?
What?
What?
Are the hotels, are they getting a reduced?
No.
People,
No, it costs 10,
are hotels giving reduced rates?
Yes.
No.
Probably.
They gorge their rates.
So it's like they're probably much higher.
I heard this $10 charge in here.
$10.
No, they
Oh, that's-
charge them an extra $10 over, the shuttle service charges them an extra $10 over their hotel room.
So,
And who does the
They-
Pay for
they
your
don't
room
charge
and then say,
extra.
yes, I'll pay
They
extra
come,
$10
they
for
stay
shuttle
in the
service.
hotel, they get on the shuttle, they get the shuttle right.
who does the $10 that they pay
They
a
pay the
hotel?
shuttle.
So okay, so is there there's accountability between the hotel and the shuttle service?
The shuttle, the hotel does not
Got
care.
way out of hand.
There's no connection there.
Because we're using funds.
No, there are no funds going to the shuttle. 0 funds.
So my last question is, we have $4,700 extra dollars,
Correct.
and you have a budget for this year, but you're wanting to keep the extra $4,700.
To do what we were going to do last year with it.
It is not in the budget for this year, but Rocklahoma and everything else, all those still things are already budgeted, right? But you're wanting to keep the extra $4,700. I'm just trying to figure out the extra,
I'd
why?
like to keep the $4,700, the videos this year that we budgeted for were over and above what we've done before. We have not done those videos, though we should have. You know, it's shame on me for not thinking of it more now. And so we budgeted that money to go ahead and get the videos produced. We would like to then, I mean, you know, we can pull that money out of this year's to produce those videos. We had scheduled some other videos and things, and the extra money this year, we wanted to look at the antiques and agritourism, things like that.
Okay.
I think at this point, it's a moot point, because we don't know what's going to happen with unspent allocation funds. So if we need to address this, maybe at the next meeting when we have an answer from Kim and Mayor Lees.
But we've got to have an answer. This has gone on too long
Yeah.
on what we do with the the leftover funds.
Yes.
Because we had the issue with Band Day last year, we've got an issue with Band Day this year, we've got an issue with the parade this year. We've got a lot of issues.
Yeah.
And we just need to see where we are how we're supposed to respond to it.
Right.
Because, you know, yeah.
As it is right
Well,
now,
the
it's,
fact is that, you know, sometimes we can make a paper money to put, you know, to add to for things like this, and we don't have it this year. We have lost every big fundraiser we have. And all of our businesses that are members of the chamber, it's the same way with Main Street. Our businesses are not just small businesses, they're mom and pop. And from the beginning, every invoice that goes out says, we know you're hurting. You know, if you have a problem, call us and we'll work it out. We don't want to lose you, you're important to us, and we hope we're important to you, and we've done a lot. That was one of the things we have on the website is the stuff that we've done for coronavirus that we've spent an awful lot of time on. But I think it's one of the most valuable things we've done, you know, including putting out, collecting from the state and others posters that we can put up and send out, and you can print them for your offices to put up and your shops so people can see them. We monitored the PPP
PPE.
grants,
Mhm.
all the payroll protection plan, all the way through, as it daily almost, you know, it was a constant moving situation. And even the rules of what people are supposed to do moved all the time. So, but anyway, it's because of that, and it's not just us, it's probably every nonprofit around has problems. We have specific problem because chambers are C6s, they're not C3s, and it's an IRS designation, but the legislators, because unions and things are also C6s, in the very beginning, they walked C6s off. We could get none of the payroll protection designation. There's no money. Now, they have both, the House and the Senate understands that they made a mistake with it. They have each one put us back in if there's more stimulus coming out, but they can't come together to get it in one bill to go anywhere. So we're now potentially getting some help. It's in both houses, but we haven't seen anything and may not see anything. So, you know, that's just something that we have to deal with. We're hoping that there's not even a guarantee for next year. There's a lot of people already shutting stuff down for next year. We have been, by the way, for hotel sat there, and this is the biggest hotel, fund allocation we've had, and it's not because of tourism, it's because of, the construction that's going on.
Thank you.
Thank you very
Well,
much.
more than anyone wanted to know.
Can I just say something, like for Eric? I've been on this board off and on a long time, and one of the problems has been, there has been no, I'm gonna say, accountability on hotel rooms used for a specific event. Now, Rocklahoma, we know we sell out every hotel, as Barbara said, within 40 miles. But like, let's say we gave funds, like we've done this in the past, we've given funds for a softball tournament. There's no accountability if one room was used, or 1 room was used, 10 rooms were used. No, we have no record of anything like that. It would be, so, what am I trying to say?
Well, I mean,
There's
no
no,
justification, I mean, just because you have an event doesn't mean that any hotel,
creates
motel,
revenue.
or it'll create revenue, or tax
Right.
dollars, or anything
right.
as a result. So, I mean, I.
But that's
I
what
call-
it's
I
generated
completely-
for, is to bring tourism into.
Absolutely.
So-
And I'm-
Well, and one of the things that we don't do is like, events that we have that are just fundraisers. We have never, ever used this money for it.
Sure.
We,
Well, I'm not saying that,
no, I just.
I mean, whether or not it,
We brought it up.
but, I'm very much aware that, you know, having these events, doing these different things, having a private entity, such as Rocklahoma come out here, and the Born and Raised concert come out to Pryor, we need to use these funds to help support some of those events, because we know, I mean, our town packs out, you know, I mean, it's just, it's common sense. You know, having the shuttle service, I mean, that's why I asked the questions, you brought it up in your discussion. You know, why wouldn't we use these funds for shuttle service? Because we know that those things, I mean, so that's why I'm.
Yeah, but the funds
That-
haven't been used for it. so-
I understand that, but I'm just saying, you know, it was in the budget, it was planned, and it was, you know, discussed of, these were the projects we had laid out, this is why we didn't use the funds. We didn't wanna just run to Walmart and say, we bought all these office supplies for the next
Yeah,
15 years, and so, here you go, here's our budget kind of thing, and I understand that, and I appreciate that, and
Or
that's,
even go out and produce a booklet or something without thinking it through.
absolutely, I mean, and that's being a good steward of what's given to you, and it,
With that time that we put into it.
and I speak for myself and no one else, but I appreciate the stewardship that you, and the judgment call of saying, let's just hold this money. Whether or not it comes back into the general fund or not, I think that that's a good, I mean, it's a wise decision, absolutely.
I concur.
And you'll always know what to do with it, more than you want to know.
yeah, Barbara does pretty,
She does a lot.
detailed,
Yeah.
The video we did, have you seen the video?
No.
Would you like to see the video?
Can we watch it after the meet? Oh, it's only 3 minutes? Can we do a vote on this?
shh,
And by the way, those of you who don't, Katie has been since February? Since February, and is a real gift for the chamber. She's done great, great work. She's a designer and a marketing, and we're having a good time, in spite of everything.
Awesome.
I say we watch it.
Okay.
It's 3 minutes.
I second that.
all in favor.
Smarty. Can you guys see that all right?
Amy, can you see?
I need my
Yeah.
binoculars.
Yeah. Can you walk that up here, Katie? Yes. Sweet glory.
Oh, that's much
I don't
better.
have my glasses on. No, I mean, I didn't even bring them up.
Katie, why don't you tell them where it is?
Can, oh,
It's on our chamber YouTube channel. So we have
Each of you have to promise us you'll go home and watch it instead of.
And
suffering
subscribe.
through this.
I didn't even know you had a YouTube channel,
didn't
so.
That was one of the projects that we implemented when I came on board, and we made a few videos, to send out to the membership and the community of what we've done during the coronavirus, so those are on there, and some of our tourism videos, like this one that we partnered with Green Country Marketing. We did a video promoting the 2020 census, so that video's on there, so any video content.
When did it launch?
Our YouTube channel,
Yeah,
March,
this year.
yes.
Okay.
And if you haven't gone on to the Pryor Chamber website, please do. Look at what's up there, and we're always open. I mean, it's just like when you were talking, you know, even though we're not paying everything from here, it's a good thing. And I'll go talk to the hotels and 918 to get the numbers for that. And we're always open for suggestions on anything. We can always get better, always, always get better.
Are we gonna watch this?
Yes.
Okay.
Very good.
Good job. And that's what would be shown at like Rocklahoma. Is that what specifically?
Snippets from that video, like about, the restaurants.
Yes or no? Just yes or no it. Thank you so much. Okay, sorry. I just needed the bottom line because I'm bottom lining it right now. Okay, Barbara, thank you very much. Anyone have any more questions? Katie, thank you. Awesome
Get my
job.
Rolodex out.
All right, so regarding the Pryor Area Chamber of Commerce final expense report for the 1920 fiscal year, we have a motion to recommend.
2020.
Well, no, this is their final expense report for
Oh,
1920.
1920. I thought you were saying like the 1920, and I'm going, no, it's
I'm
2020.
sorry. The 2019.
Thank you.
2020, okay. We have a motion to recommend to council action to approve the expense report from Chamber of Area Commerce in the amount of $29,216.43.
I'll make a motion.
A second.
All those in favor say aye.
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 All those nay, no. Thank you, Barbara.
Thank you.
Mr. Miller? I know you are not next on the agenda. However, you have been here waiting patiently. Go ahead and step on it.
I'm sorry, guys, I have to.
That's fine.
Bye, Katie. Thank you.
Katie.
Thank you.
And, thank you very much. All right, we are reviewing your expense report for the 2019-2020 fiscal year. Does anyone here have any questions regarding his expenditure of $7,904 of his $84.74 allocated, appropriated? Oops. I have a question, and this is based on my own forgetfulness. I do not recall if you were at a meeting previously, we talked about selling T-shirts as a fundraiser. Can you remind this board what that final decision was and be honest as,
Yeah,
Yeah.
Kim said absolutely we can do that.
But who gets the money from the T-shirt sales?
The Main Street to put back into other projects.
And
Yeah.
Kim said that?
Yeah, he said absolutely you could do that. And,
But I think, okay,
yeah, and then I think he
no,
said
what
that
were you gonna say?
no,
you
go ahead.
didn't even have to spend all your funds. If you didn't spend them all, it went back. I mean, that's what he said, but he was gonna do more research on it.
Yeah,
Yes,
and the
we've
research
been
hasn't
talking
been
about that.
done
So
on
that's
it.
where it's all at. So
Yeah,
that's where it's all at.
because we brought this up whether or not
Yeah, I mean,
it could be
and-
done,
and here we are again.
and here we are again, and with the same thing as leftover money.
Right.
But,
No, that was.
because
was
that
my-
has never been done before.
Right,
And this came up the last time when you sold T-shirts.
yeah.
I was here
So,
for that.
You were here for
I
that?
was here for that. I was.
He showed up
Okay.
the next meeting you all had and answered some questions like, yeah, absolutely. I mean,
yeah, but then he came back after we talked a little bit and said we needed to get together and discuss some things. And has that taken place?
We had to get together, but he was going to clarify and did not have that final decision. I don't know if Kim has that or not, but we're gonna put it on the next agenda, so it's feet to
Yeah.
the fire, Tara, get your, together for the next meeting, and we have answers. Okay? Thank you so much. Back to the expense report. Has everyone had a chance to review Pryor Main Street's expense report? And do we have any questions or comments? Nothing? Okay, well,
Well, it goes back to the clarification of whether or not Main Street, how do I,
That Main Street events bring people into this community
it
that,
does, it brings people, that's not even it's just that we have never, ever, in the course of this,
but isn't the.
hold on,
Okay.
of this board funded a fundraiser. Does that clear, do you see where I'm coming from on it? I never thought it was within the guidelines to fund a fundraiser. Barbara has never come to this board for fundraising, and this was one of the things that we needed a clarification on, because it's came up on the last expense that we dealt with. So it's just the clarification that we need if Because if it is, then it's gonna, and if we put that word out there, then there's gonna be a lot of people that would apply for hotel motel money, if we fund fundraisers. Is that not, I mean, I know I would, I mean, that would mean Rotary could come, that would mean that, you know, Monday Forum could come, as long as they
But
were a
what's those
501.
fundraisers? We are part of the Oklahoma Department of Commerce. Our whole being here is for downtown Pryor. So our fundraisers, I mean, we put the banners up. So, you know, we're gonna do, 40 flower pots all throughout downtown. Ours is to beautify downtown Pryor. That's what our fundraisers are for. They're for Pryor. They're not for us. It's to help every business in the downtown corridor. So we're not,
But it's the city giving you funds for a fundraiser.
they're giving us, they provide us funds, yeah. They have to. And for us to be here, we have to have city support financially.
I can see both sides of this coin.
Right.
They're given an appropriation.
Right.
If they use a portion of that to turn around and raise additional funds that help promote downtown Pryor, that's a win for Pryor.
Right.
Whether or not it brings people to the hotel, the purpose of Pryor Main Street is the revitalization and the growth and beautification of downtown, correct? So they're fulfilling their mission.
Right.
I also understand your point in, does this open a door for other entities to come on in and say, hey, we would like some fundraiser money? It's
Well,
about-
That's just
It
my
would-
point.
it would-
Is it opening
would,
up?
Be no different if we would, like in the case of Rotary, held our district meeting here, which is a weekend event.
Right, but
And
that,
we needed funding for space or whatever we needed, right? Or shuttles or whatever,
An
right?
Right.
event.
An event that we are we could tie directly to, okay, we're having this and it's a multi-day event. People are gonna need to stay, they're coming from out of state, they're coming here. I mean, so it would be a
but we're not
case-by-case
raising money, it's not a
You're not using
fundraiser.
it as a fundraiser.
That's not a
different.
fundraiser.
That would
That's an
actually
event.
Okay,
qualify.
okay, all right, all right.
I was gonna say, that would work.
Well, but I'm just saying, like, from a case-by-case basis, and, you know, I could see it as well, the allocation goes, and
Yeah, and I
you
have no
use
problem
the allocation
doing
to,
it.
you get $1, you try to make 2 out
It's
of
the
it.
ramification.
It's,
of
yeah,
the
I have no
practice.
problem doing it. The problem is,
Is this being recorded? Okay, good,
Good.
okay.
I think,
the problem,
I think my issue is that this is a budget that is approved for them. This is not them requesting grant money. If we were to give them grant, if you were asking for $3,000 of a grant for us to give you money so you can go make money, I
okay,
I think there would be an
okay,
issue.
that,
But
Right.
this is in the budget, and
Right.
so if they're being good stewards
Right.
in taking the money and doing something to increase the money without having to come to us for
okay.
grants.
That's what I was
Yeah,
saying with the
that's-
appropriation he's given using part of that. I just.
Okay,
didn't
so,
get
Okay.
but,
specific.
my but would be, so let's say I'm a 501c3 and I have an event and it's a fundraiser. And I come to this board to say, I want to, I need t-shirts, well, no, I'm not gonna use t-shirts. I'm gonna use your event. I need a dance floor, I need lighting, I need this, that. So can I come to this board for that? Because we gave it,
As
we
an
approved that?
allocation or out of their,
No, I'm coming
She's
for,
talking grant.
I'm talking
application.
about for a grant.
I think if you have to dedicate, if you're dedicating the services and Pryor is a recipient of the event,
Right.
then you can use that. Nobody should necessarily profit from that. It should be for the city of Pryor. But it shouldn't be, they shouldn't be using it to make money into trying to flip it, like I said with the grant. To
Correct.
me, yeah,
I agree with that.
that's my thing.
Okay.
if they're using within their budget and they're having these things and they can allocate their resources and they're doing it within their budget, that was budget that decided that, not us for grants. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Would that not be a question for the city attorney to determine if it's an
Well, in the
appropriate use?
grant.
Well, we-
Determine again,
The grants-
clarification.
We've
Yeah.
asked this question a lot. It's
Can we
been
get one
asked a
before
lot.
next year?
Yeah, wait till next year.
Repeat
Okay,
the question
this is
again next year.
Specifically for grants. Are we gonna, do
Yeah,
we
we'll go
agree
in.
as a board, it's specifically pertaining to grants, not for the sake of this
Right.
particular thing, appropriations coming with his 10% is correct what you get from this board each year for your budget? Okay, not part of that, grants only. Got it. That will be addressed and put on the next agenda as well. Got a note right here. So, have we made a motion regarding
No, but
Pryor
I
Main
will make a
Street?
motion. I will make a motion that we approve.
I have a motion, or a motion, go ahead. Sorry.
Can I make the motion?
I have you down already. It's a done deal.
Oh, okay.
Thank you, Lord.
I make a motion to approve the 2019-2020 final expense report for the Pryor Main Street in the amount of $7,904.14.
We have a second. Eric.
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye. What are you doing on the side of the building? What's it gonna be? Is it secret?
No, I mean, it's gonna be pretty cool.
I drove, did you see it? Did you
I
drive down
saw
there?
it white. I
Yeah, they
didn't
were
see
up there on a
anything.
ladder painting when I
It's
came.
gonna be all about downtown, and I don't know if Jenny sent me a picture of it, but, the mural club at the junior high and high school are working on it, so it's kinda cool, we're getting the younger ones, and I don't have a picture of it with me, but it's gonna be playing off, it's be part of the, be the Y, but it's gonna be a whole different scene, I mean, they're, Mrs., I wanna say Grossman, that was her name.
Goodson.
Goodson. She was up on
You're
the
dating
ladder.
yourself.
Up on the ladder.
The ladder's pretty high.
Yeah, she was up on that ladder, and I'm like, oh, but then, yeah, so they're gonna make it.
Cool.
So that's one of the things we're doing, is downtown murals here, type of thing, with these greenery that's coming in, they're gonna be blue and gold petunias or pansies, what do you plant in the fall?
It's pansies.
Pansies.
So blue and gold, and then in the spring, they're gonna be bubblegum pink, petunias. So,
Nice.
and we've got the reincarnation cottages are gonna maintain them all, so that's the, rehab house, so they're gonna use those guys to water and maintain.
Is that the rehab house on 17?
No, it's just down the street from the Main Street office, it's just like a two house.
Oh, the Reckless Saints part of that?
Not really Reckless Saints, reincarnation cottages, right
Oh.
across from the Pryor printing.
It's the new house.
It's a new house that they redid, Jared Gates and Matt Skank and
Yeah,
everybody. So they're gonna use their guys that are staying there, and so we're gonna use them
next to the White House.
to maintain.
Okay.
The one with the black trim on it.
Yeah, they just redid it.
It's down the street from you.
Yeah, I'm sure it is, but woo, okay, awesome. Thank you,
Thank
Mr.
you.
Miller. Well, unless anybody, if nobody objects, let's jump ahead to his letter of intent for this fiscal year. That way he can go. Barbara, I apologize we didn't do the same for you. Step right back on up, Mr. Miller. This would be item 7 on our agenda regarding the letter of intent for the appropriation expenditures for the 2021 fiscal year for Pryor Main Street. Has everyone had a chance to review, and are there any questions? And do we have a motion to approve this? Answer it with one word, please. Thank you so much. Or I will make a motion too.
It's one word, it has to be motion.
Oh, you know what, actually, good gracious, I can't even, yeah, we can, okay. I apologize for myself.
I'll make a motion to approve the 2021 letter of intent for the Pryor Main Street.
I will second that. All those in favor say aye.
I also make a recommendation
Thank you. Jesus.
to approve the 2020-2021 letter of intent by the Pryor Area Chamber of Commerce.
I will second that. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Thank you. That was item 8.
Sorry, I kicked
Thank you
this.
so much, guys. Oh, gracious. I really don't want to back up to item 4, but Amy, you're here representing Pryor Public
I
Schools.
am.
Partially, a little bit. I hope you have answers. So we're gonna back on up to item 4, the final expense report for Pryor Public Schools. They did submit an expense report in the amount of $15,211.92. Pryor Public Schools in and of itself only had a budget of $14,449.77. So we will not be approving any receipts that exceed the amount of $14,449.77, and there is no mention of Band-Aid on this, therefore it is not addressed on this agenda. We're gonna make note of that right now. Thank you. So, I do have questions, but I hear Ms. Dean may want to begin.
No, so they went over what was allotted to them on what they submitted to us.
What they submitted to us is 15,211.
Right, and
But their portion, their grand total that included Band-Aid was 16,949.
okay, that's what I wondered, if it
But
included.
But there was
They-
nothing Band-Aid related.
Yes.
Right.
So what they submitted was the 15,200 out of, they only had 14,900 or 14,400. So yeah, I just want to make that clear on the outset, so we're not saying yeehaw to all that. There's no-
So the 16,000, is that what you said?
16,949.
That represents the 2,500 going back into for last year's canceled Band-Aid.
Well, okay, the 16,949 was the total 20% appropriated to Pryor Public Schools that included the 2,500. So when you
Oh,
take
take out the 20.
25, they only got 14,449, Pryor Public Schools, and then 2,500 Band-Aid.
And the 2,500 can only be used for Band-Aid?
Correct.
And I don't know that they actually ever picked up that check because it got canceled. I can go back and look. but-
I thought we had to pay judges out of it.
That-
Yeah, you
Because
had to
they
pay
had
50%.
already.
That was last,
year's
that
before
was last
last
year before.
Was that the year
Yeah, that was the
before?
year before.
Yeah.
That, this last year,
Oh,
nothing.
we fixed that?
Because, well,
Well, it didn't
COVID,
happen.
COVID
Well,
canceled schools,
yeah.
so.
Yeah.
Oh.
So we
Yeah,
didn't even
I
get
don't
to
think
that
there were
point
even
this
judges.
You
year.
didn't even get to the judges.
No.
Okay.
No, that was the year before, and nothing even was touched as far as Band-Aid this year. So, and I'm assuming that that is all the reason why this next year, they're not even sponsoring it. I noticed in their
Oh, wow.
in their information for this year, that Mr. Speakman is not even hosting it this year.
Yeah, we decided not to have it this year because of COVID.
Okay.
I mean, it wasn't even on the agenda to have a
Wow.
Band-Aid this year.
Okay.
So that
Not on
2,500 just goes back into the school's general, their 20, whatever, 15, whatever the percentage is that they get.
So the city cuts them their own check, or essentially, or do they give the?
The city gives them
schools?
their own check.
Okay.
So they wouldn't be
So
picking up
they
that
never
check
picked it
again
up.
this year,
Okay,
correct?
that's a win for Pryor. Hotel motel, I should.
Right? I mean,
Not
I would
if we don't
assume that they wouldn't pick
Yeah.
up another check this year either,
Correct. Yeah,
so that,
I can
Right.
dig that. Yeah. Maybe that's how you address this whole thing. Okay, back to the expense report. Submitted, yes, Ms. Lee?
Do you know about blue and gold sausage, what that was used for?
my assumption would be for tournaments, for breakfast, for,
That they cook it themselves
Yes.
and serve breakfast?
yes.
Okay.
Thank you.
I was just
I
curious.
was curious about that too.
Kickback
So I did
on
ask
Okay.
a couple of questions
Well, thank you,
today.
because it just kind of jumped out at me.
Yes.
Blue and gold sausage,
Yeah.
I
Yeah,
thought
me
so.
too. I was like, well, FFA sells it,
Right,
and it's on the expense report. This is fundraiser, but really it's like kickback fundraising.
right.
Okay, well, that makes sense if it was.
So we're not going to do anything on 4?
I did not say that. I was just clarifying. They submitted receipts that exceeded their budget. so we're.
And I put
just
the wrong amount down. I put the full amount that they,
Submitted, which is
submitted.
fine, it's totally, that's.
and really, they're only being,
We're only giving them
we're
the
only
14.
dealing with the 1440 that we
Okay.
gave them. Yeah.
Is everybody on the same page with this?
So if there was a motion to be made, it would be for the 14,447.77.
449.
41, 9. I can't read my own writing.
Yes, correct.
Okay,
The approval of the expense report.
okay.
You're gonna leave? Okay.
So,
Thanks. Don't.
Because I talk so long.
Oh, no.
Oh, you're good.
No, you're good.
It's not gonna do me any good to sit here.
yeah, you're done. Stick a fork in me. Go.
I wanted you to stay, but go ahead. Don't worry about us, we'll be fine. We'll get the lights.
Yeah, but Scott's having a problem with his own name today, so.
Bye, Barbara.
Okay.
Gracious. Okay.
So,
Not that it matters, but why do we have a number of invoices or amounts for example, Walmart on the exact same day? Why did we make 5 different transactions on February 27th? That's just an example. I can see if you go to Homeland and Polly's Donuts but you went to Walmart, I'm just trying to figure out. We went to, yeah.
is there multiple people buying things for these tournaments, or is there just?
It's usually the athletic secretary, which is Pam Arnold,
Yeah, I see.
the athletic directors, which are Gerald Osborne, Daryl Heston, and Greg Arnold. So those would be the 4 that would be purchasing items.
And is this a credit card? How is this paid? I mean, how do you guys go into Walmart and,
We have cards.
so how many cards do you guys have?
Oh, like for each building has probably 4 or 5 cards for each building. You
And then
check
you
them.
have-
You have to check them out.
And you have a fund control person that's,
Yes, yeah, you have to sign your name in blood, pretty much.
okay. I wanna go eat chicken with y'all at Charlie's. All right.
I was looking for the items that you were talking about on the same day at Walmart. I didn't,
Check number, well, it's one, okay, so it's one check, apparently, 5546.
I was looking for the receipts. Was just curious to see what was actually on them.
That was during the prior invitational. I'm sure that
They may
they
run
run
out of things.
stuff, they have to run
Yeah.
back. I mean, there's people coming in and out, different coaches, different
Yeah,
officials constantly.
Yeah,
And some of these some of these amounts are, I mean, it looks like they're just buying to keep things fresh. I would assume, I'm
yeah.
not,
And I know the Pit and the Doug Ryle was back-to-back weekends. So I don't know if they purchased items and, had an,
Oh, for that and then the next?
right,
Okay.
right.
No, I was just wondering.
Now, there is blue and gold listed as hospitality on here.
Yeah.
It might be a recommendation to the school if you looked at this the page where they have broken down all the expenses and what have you, and the checks, is where they just have like hospitality, as to what exactly it was.
And I did recommend that to them last year, just
Yeah.
kind of like, hey, this is kind of what we would like to
I
have.
mean, they're pretty good, but
Um,
there's a few that,
So we can,
Stipulation on this.
I can reiterate that to them
And
as
we'll
well.
put a stipulation on it for upcoming expense reports. They need to specify
By
exactly.
what
it is.
event.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, what event, yeah.
Do you have a highlighter, Darla?
I've got one at my desk, I can go get.
Just one. Anything else, Mr. Kraft?
We did discuss that.
Thank you very much.
We did discuss that itemization a year ago.
Yes. And I did speak with them about it, and I think it's a little better than what it was last year, but it's still not good enough, in my opinion.
Well, and maybe one of the things is on Darla's part, not accept the application if it's not complete. I mean, not the application, the expense report without,
Oh, without the specifics.
without all the specifics.
Okay, yeah, exactly.
On there.
Yeah, like, I
Maybe
mean,
we can be a little bit tougher. Darla
you're
can be tougher.
empowered to say, no, thank you.
I have to pay attention.
Well, it would be nice when,
Yeah.
you know, we're sponsoring, or you guys are sponsoring
Well, yeah.
10 events.
Yes.
Right.
You know, so then you can say that this is where it's dedicated to,
The
so we can
date of
look at
the
it.
event and what the
Yeah.
event was.
Yeah, just the accountability for it.
Yep. Okay.
We'll actually be showing off for the school what they're actually, all these things that they are doing. So it goes both ways.
Yeah, it's a win-win, right? Let me do this. All right. Okay, so regarding the expense report from Pryor Public Schools, we have a motion regarding this with the additional stipulation of specific date and event.
I have a motion.
I love this board. To what?
Well, if you make it, I'll second it.
I'm not remaking it. That's, okay, so, yeah. That we accept the expense report for the Pryor Public Schools
In the amount of?
in the amount of 15.
No.
No.
Which one? $14,449.77.
I'll second that.
Through all of his schooling, looking off
With-
the other guy's
And
paperwork.
Well, I'm not, well, I saw this over here.
And add to that the stipulation of future expense reports must list the date of the event as well as what the event was, that any hospitality expenditures or whatever expenditures are. It's gotta be specified. Okay,
So did we,
so we had a
So we-
second. All those in favor say aye, or do we
Aye.
need to wait?
Aye.
Aye, thanks, okay,
Yeah.
go on.
so,
Did you have a second on that? I can second that.
Yeah, I second it.
Oh, okay.
Tracy did.
Okay.
So are you an aye?
I'm an aye.
Okay.
so this discussion was 15, this was a negative. I mean, this was, we said we rejected this and we accepted the 14,449, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
They used up all their
Okay.
money. Okay. Oh, shoot, I just buried the agenda. Here we go.
We got 6 and 10.
Thank you. Item 6, let's discuss and review, and I don't think there's much to discuss, so we'll review the 2020-21 fiscal budget, which is actually shocking. So this year, the grand total hotel motel tax allocation budget's $107,009.48. The breakdown, you guys all have copies of this, but for the sake of record, I should just zip through, okay. Pryor Area Chamber of Commerce, receiving their 40% is appropriated, allocated $42,803.79. Pryor Public Schools will receive a grand total of $18,901.90. Included in that is the $2,500 Band-Aid budget, which is not being scheduled this year, so they will receive, oh, I'm sorry, their grand total was $21,401. Their actual budget to spend for Pryor Public Schools is the $18,901.90. Pryor Main Street receives 10% of our budget, which would be $10,700.95. the 20% set aside for grant applications, which we have 0 of thus far, is $21,401.90, and 10% in reserve, not reverse, is $10,700.94. There's our budget. Item marked. Thank you so much. So, item 9 is the letter of intent for Pryor Public Schools and Pryor Band-Aid. I have not actually read that. Have you guys all read that?
Reviewed it.
Usually they're pretty good about listing the tournaments and dates on these, on their letter of intent. I think I flipped mine.
I was gonna say, mine is so messed up right now. I
Yeah.
have no idea where
Oh,
anything
gracious.
is.
So
At
with
all.
everything that's going on right now, and they cancel a bunch of these events, are they just, I mean, whatever they spend is whatever they spend, and they submit their expenses
Yes.
in the,
And what happens with
Whatever
that money
happens
is
that
on
money.
the next agenda.
Yeah,
Okay.
so
All
we
right.
really are gonna need an answer
Yes.
Yeah,
It'll be
because-
eventually
next
on,
agenda. Next agenda. For
on
sure.
it.
All right.
So, Darla, can I ask a question? With the total, I mean, this is more than we've had in a long time. Is it from Rocklahoma, or is there a particular month or something that something was going on, or is it just?
I'm really not sure. I could get with Eva and find out.
I was just curious if there was, you know,
Yeah. I don't think it'd be Rocklahoma because it didn't happen, so we wouldn't have had that income.
right.
What was,
So what was it? I mean,
I do-
really the industrial and all the hotels being filled up with the construction and stuff? you
maybe
think?
I mean, they were very high occupancy throughout the entire year.
Really?
I mean, if you drive by now, I mean, their parking lots are empty versus before COVID, they were
Right.
packed.
I
Packed.
don't know, this may be on next year's budget, but
I don't know.
I heard the BMX race that the hotels were full
Yeah.
for that. And that was this spring, wasn't it? Spring,
Right.
summer-ish?
Right.
So that would be
Yeah, so
on
that
next
could've-
year's, right?
Not necessarily, because it would come in
I didn't know what the date
by the
was.
month.
Okay. But
This was our fund balance at June 30.
okay, and I don't remember when that was.
It was before that, I think.
Was it?
So,
I do know that
that could have been a big.
I do know that the hotels were
Yeah.
completely
Like
booked
the
Yeah.
catch-all,
for that.
Yes.
That could have been a big one then.
Yeah.
so that they could
Just
use
think it- yes.
any and all
Yep.
of.
Yeah.
It would be
lot of
nice if we got periodically, the amount of forecast revenue that we're supposed to be bringing in, for example, the 107,000, so we can look to see, because, I mean, we had the 107,000, but where are we at with COVID now? Are we still generating money? Are we losing money? And so, instead of waiting until we get a piece of paper that says 107,000, kind of expectations over last year or whatever, just to see, you know, because they should be capturing that.
You want to do like a mid-year review or something like that?
That would be
If that would be possible, that would be fantastic.
Are you talking about the revenue generated from the hotel motel
Yeah.
tax? Okay.
Yeah.
Well, and I mean, just overall, I mean, that would be our snippet, but also just as the state of the city. Wow, he can have that, by the way, he can use that, state of the city.
State of the city?
And,
So like in January?
Whether it stays a positive or something like that?
yeah, where we are and expectations and that kind of stuff.
So, it kind of pertains to this. So we've got this money and no applicants.
Well, what happened, because remember 2 years ago, we had like $5,000 that we didn't do anything with. What happened to that money?
It stays in there and adds to the next year. This is an actual fund balance that we're working with, so anything that didn't get pulled out is still in there. So this is an accumulation, as well as the current year, anything that was left over from years past has
Okay.
accumulated to this.
So is there anything on that that says that that we're getting allocated that money? You know what I'm saying? The $3,000 or $4,000, it's on there, okay,
Yeah, it goes into a specific fund.
okay.
So this budgeted amount, is it accumulation of what hasn't been spent in the past,
As well
plus
as.
what was added to. So the $5,000 that he's speaking of,
Still in there.
it should be in there.
Is there a way of knowing, like, what we made just with the tax, the hotel
I'm
motel
sure
tax?
I'm sure we could get a.
Not what we've already had
Yeah,
in there?
because she does a monthly,
On the
they have to
back.
close out each month.
Of this year's it's very generalized, but
Right.
there is a little, it's a slight breakdown.
Okay.
But
Usually.
yeah, they have to
yeah.
close out each month, so we can actually see what the balance is in this account every month, when they get it closed out.
So here, we had unappropriated fund balance of $22,000, which would be our surplus from that 80, almost 85 last year, adding to the surplus of 22, bringing us to 107 this year.
What?
We didn't give all the money out last year.
Mm-mm.
And for anybody who did have a grant application, which that is the, what do I call that? The rebate funding, if they didn't spend whatever it is we approved, it didn't leave the account, you know? So as far as the rest of it, other than Band-Aid, it went out for the
Lawnmower.
No.
Okay.
Bitter? No.
Yeah, we had lawnmower last year. We did have lawnmower.
We did.
Yep.
Yes, we have. So.
Oh, we did.
Great discussion about the lawnmower.
Yeah.
The winter time that you, never mind,
Okay,
go ahead.
so,
I digress.
Love this board.
do you really? Are you being
do.
facetious?
No,
We're
I
fun.
do. I love it.
We are fun, okay.
Great.
Awesome.
Learned so much.
So we are, where are we?
We need a
Are
motion on number 9.
Thank you. Oh, the letter of intent for Pryor Public Schools.
I make a motion that we
What-
approve the letter of intent for Pryor Public Schools as presented.
Well, but we need to be specific that it's, are we putting in prior Band-Aid or leaving that out? Because this, is that the way, because it says prior public schools and prior Band-Aid.
Prior Band-Aid is its own separate line of allocated funds.
No.
I understand that it's,
But we're not gonna take a letter of intent for the prior Band-Aid.
The letter of intent, I don't see
Oh,
prior Band-Aid on.
So the motion needs to exclude Band-Aid, just the Pryor Public
and
Schools.
excluding
Yeah.
Band-Aid with no letter of intent submitted.
I'll second that motion. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All right. Item 10 on the agenda was something that I had brought up to Eva a little while back. Airbnbs, believe it or not, there are some in Pryor within the city limits, which is a little bit mind-blowing. And the definition of their, I don't know, whatever falls under motel or hotel. And they should be also collecting a 5% tax from their patrons to go into this allocation fund. I do not know, though, how those things are captured, because I don't understand how businesses are set up. So item 10 is, I guess we could, Kim? Yes, but also, are there any other entities that you guys, like, I mean, we're in a new era. The way things are, we book things, we stay places, we can rent a room in a house. All those things qualify. Other than Airbnbs or, I guess, bed and breakfast within the city limits, are there other revenues we could capture? I mean, the great how-to will be also next, but this is,
And you were shocked that there was a,
honestly, yes. I mean, I could see it like for the week of Rocklahoma,
I'm
because
still trying to
everything's booked out.
get over my shock, right? I mean, you've had time to digest this, you just dropped the bomb.
Okay, so what are you more shocked about? Me being shocked that
No.
there are, or you?
No, that there is
Like
one
you
as
agree?
well. Yeah, I agree with
Okay,
you. I agree with
thank
you.
Okay, fist bump. Thank you so much. It is, but I get it for, sorry, darling, I know you're ready to go. For, you know, huge events like Rocklahoma, where everything's sold out, it's handy and it's cheap.
How about those places like, in Shodo where you park your U-Haul,
Well, oh, are there
RV
any
park?
here?
the RV park and
park.
stuff.
There's not any RV parks anymore in Pryor, are there?
Well,
There used to be.
There's one that they're in the process of building, I think, over, I
Is
think
that-
it's behind Holiday Motel,
Really?
maybe? Trying to remember which one, because there's something.
Was it not, what about behind JL's? They were developing something over there as
Maybe
well.
that's it, maybe that's what I'm thinking about.
They haven't done that, that's still a pad, I don't know what they're calling it.
There's one that opened across from High Bank Speedway, is that,
That's not in the city.
That
not, not
one's-
work,
no.
oh, okay. Yeah, I just,
Okay. Okay, well, that was all that was as far as that item.
That's something to definitely go into.
Yes, exactly.
I have
So-
no idea how you do it, but.
Yeah.
So, I mean, obviously, that's a Kim thing, but do you think the city attorney would, I'm sorry, the city accountant?
I'm wondering if he could
He
probably
would be the
help us
one
with
that would,
too. Yeah.
okay. Who is our city accountant now?
Jeff Coker.
Jeff?
Coker.
Oh, Coker, okay, yeah. All right. Okay, so no action on item 10. We need to schedule a next meeting, is October 8th. Good, what, now?
It's fine.
That's a couple weeks, everybody be able to make that date, maybe?
What is that meeting for?
Well, to all of the next agenda items, which would be fundraiser questions,
The reallocation. portion,
reallocation, like unspent
Unspent dollars,
money,
getting that
as
answered.
well as capturing revenue.
I'm gonna check my calendar real quick.
Okay, thank you. As well as item 10.
We need outside answers for that,
I was
correct?
gonna say, that's gonna have to be a Kim Ritchie or somebody being here. I mean,
For all these, or?
pretty much, because,
Okay.
and it's whether or not, if you wanna schedule it for then or later, to have time to talk to Kim about it, because I don't wanna go to Kim and then Kim go, well, let me check into it again.
Okay.
And
So
you know,
we can, what?
you know what I want? I want a boatload of grant requests.
Yeah.
We need to put out something, that's why I'm wondering about the 8th. We need to advertise something, put something out that says for grants, because then,
It is put out every year. I think that COVID is the reason there aren't any this year. It is published every year, July, like the month of July, that grant, the tax board is open for grant applications for that month, like, get your applications in.
I just think.
Well, because like, the art show didn't submit anything,
Right.
our little quilt ladies.
I just assume they're not doing anything right now.
I do- that's
I love
what
the
said.
art show.
Yeah, you do.
I may have seen, Scott, that you were reappointed, and that's why. I'm just saying.
But I mean, those that always, pretty much submitted applications, we haven't seen anything from them. Scott might have scared them away, but, I'm just giving you a hard time.
Totally. Anyhow,
October 8th is available right now if we want to put that down for our meeting.
actually, good point. I'm gonna actually call Kim tomorrow.
Okay.
And see if I can just sit down and chat with him, since
Okay.
Larry's out of town, and make an appointment, and then we'll go from there.
Okay.
Email, is that cool with everybody? Okay, it'll be within the next few weeks, definitely though, yeah. So, can we just move on to adjourn this thing?
I make a motion.
I second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Well, yeah.
And